Welcome to School of Addiction. My name is Ashley. Today's topic is in addiction, failing can be part of winning, and how to turn setbacks into a way to level yourself up. That's not how I worded it on on my title, but we'll roll with it. So for those who are new to the channel, my name is Ashley Bloxham. I'm a therapist. I specialise in childhood and trauma, but also I'm an addictions counsellor, and I've studied addiction and counselling right the way up to PhD, but I've also overcame addiction. I think that is the biggest qualification I've got to be chatting about this stuff. And also, I know what it's like to have loved ones who struggle with addiction, so I understand it from a full 360 point of view. So today's topic is how to turn, hi Marcus, how you doing? Is how to turn failing at addiction into winning, and how to use setbacks to level up. So the thing with addiction recovery is it is switching your life up into a whole different life. So you are retraining your brain, it's new neuroplasticity, it's usually new environments, it's a whole new life that you are creating from the ground up. And you're doing it when you're on your knees. We don't feel good in addiction recovery. We're not full of beans for what's to come. So it's really hard, and often when we relapse or we lapse, we sit there and we shame ourselves. And instead we need to reframe the shame. So reframe the shame. We need to think about, okay, it takes fucking balls to pick yourself up again and to try again and to go back to the drawing board. So first of all, drop the shame. The fact that you're saying, okay, let's go for round 2 or round fuck you in terms of the addiction, round fuck you addiction. We're going to go for that. That takes balls, and you should be proud of yourself. So reframe the shame. Also start to think about, okay, this is data. I've slipped up, something's happened. What was wrong? So was it that something triggered you? So it was a specific person, a specific event? Was it the fact that, okay, I'm not that great at handling stress? So, okay, that's data. We can manage the stress. If it was a certain person, we can put boundaries in with the person. If it was because of a life event, okay, think about how can I better manage huge life events in the future? So how can I build resilience? Is it that my life was boring and shit and that seemed more appealing? So, okay, how do I make my life less boring, less shit, so that addiction, the life that I know is so shit and causes us so much pain, so that to make that less appealing than my life, what am I going to do? And I'm going to give you a little tip on how to do that, because I think self-love is often at the root of it as well. Right, but first I want to say how people are doing. Hi Marcus, it's nice to see you again. Hi Milligan, I'm sure you've been on here as well before. ABY, I'm struggling with nicotine. Nicotine's a little bitch to deal with. I've just quit vaping myself. It's really hard because there's no immediate, I need to do this. Well, there might be for you, I don't know your circumstance, but for most people, unless it's like I'm dealing with like an effect of nicotine, of smoking now, in the here and now, it just feels like a little bit of a future me's problem. Like that's future Ashley's problem. So that's a bit of a problem. However, what I would look at is try and get a hook. So why is it that you want to stop nicotine? Like write down all the reasons why, and try and remind yourself of those in the moment, because you're going to have to involve your long-term thinking. That's your impulse control, same kind of region of your brain. So just try and think about what's beneficial in the long run. I was trying to also bring it back into the here and now. So what now is going to be beneficial for nicotine? So for me, I made a deal with myself on my 36th birthday. I'm nearly 37 now, that I'm going to start doing boxing and I'm going to quit vaping, because the two went hand in hand. Like I knew that if I'm focusing on something like boxing, I'm gonna have to have like good lung capacity. I'm gonna have to be at the top of my game, especially starting later. So try and find something where it's gonna benefit you in the here and now as well, and just keep telling yourself like, this is what we're doing and this is why. It's really hard though. You can use nicotine replacements. Personally, I haven't. But yeah, what tips have other people got for struggling with nicotine? It's a tough one. I genuinely is a tough one. I've dealt with quite a few addictions. It's the lack of I need to do it now. Diane, recovery takes character, acknowledging our powerlessness and surrendering to win. Yeah. And do you know what it is? I would reframe that a little bit. Like, I really fully agree with the fact it takes character. And I think acknowledging your powerlessness, yeah, as long as it's acknowledging it in a way that up to now I've not been able to do it. So like I'm gonna have to surrender to the fact that what I've done so far hasn't worked. So I need to do something different. But I really like this idea of win. So often in addiction recovery, we kind of feel like we don't have the character to do that. We feel like I can't do this. And I think it's really important that every little win that you get, you praise yourself with it and think, do you know what it is? This is showing me who I am. Stop bigging yourself up, because I think often in addiction, we feel too weak. Like, I'm too weak to do this. I can't do this. I'm not capable. And we sit in this space of not being able to for a long time. Not everyone. I know there's some people who just decide to stop and they stop. But I'm talking about a lot of people. And we feel like I can't win. Like, this is unbeatable. And I'm not the type of person who could do this. So it's really important that every little win that you have, you go, actually, I am actually quite good. I am actually quite resilient. I am stronger than I thought. And just telling yourself this will retrain your brain to know, actually, I'm not powerless in this situation. And you'll start to get this like gunning for it feeling, because you get dopamine from winning at life. Anything that you like get a little win and you're doing good, you'll get a little kick of dopamine. And that's what we need. Dopamine in real life, not just in addiction. Christian Buster, don't take advice from this woman. Well, you don't have to. I'm not like, listen to me or else. Like, you can just go off the live and like go to a different live. That's fine. Right. My lung collapsed when I was 19, but I'm now 24. Okay, so you've got a real hook here, ABY. Okay, so what I would be thinking then is looking at, do you want to just have a one-to-one, ABY? Because we can absolutely just do this in a one-to-one, and we can just hash out ways to support you in particular. Because like, realistically, you've got something in the here and now. We just need to access that and then build around it. So if you want to have a one-to-one, just go to my website, schoolofaddiction.co.uk, and we can come out with like a little plan for you, a plan of action on how to do this. Let us know. If not, we can try and do a little bit on here, but I think that would be better for you personally, and it's free. I don't charge anyone. Hi Julius to Alaska. Hi from Newcastle. Why not listen to her? She's bad AF. Why not? Are you sticking up for it? Are you saying I'm bad, or are you saying I'm bad? Like, are we talking like I'm like bad? Like, or we're talking like she's bad, get away from her? I don't know what you're talking about. Christian, what the fuck, why? Oh, it's all right, man. He's just, I don't know, getting his kicks. Ricardo, I have 3 vices: cigarettes, women, and Chunky Monkey from Ben & Jerry's. The only one I have under control is the cigarettes. That is good. I'm just not a big fan of ice cream. I'm not. Ideal saying she's amazing, thank you. Unchained Melody, you're the Wendy to my Peter Pan. I feel like Wendy just sat there waiting around for Peter and chasing after Peter while Peter was just off doing whatever he wanted. Like, come on, Wendy, wake up. We don't need men like that. Then she sat waiting till she's old and frail while he was in Never Never Land. Sounds like she's got a boyfriend who's on the toot and she's just at home. Like, she's at home waiting for him to come back. Get up, Wendy. Go find someone. I think she does actually in Hook. She does find someone. Okay, Wendy's all right, but yeah. You replace nicotine with crack cocaine, works every time. I think not actually. I've never took crack, but I have never smoked so much in my life is when I am on coke. So I imagine it is much worse on crack. Fucking hell, you need to be doing something all the time. Like, you have to be doing something. And if you smoke, like, you're going to be up in the amount. You're going to be on the packets with many packets of tabs. Definitely wouldn't take that advice. Wyatt, he was sleeping and I paid full price for admission, so I tried to wake his ass up. Who was sleeping, Wyatt? Bellis, it's so difficult when someone has been smoking all their lives. Bells, it just knocked your thing off. I missed the end of your thing, but it's gone now when I see your comments. It is really hard to stop when you've been smoking all your life. Like I've been smoking since I was 12, and I've got to say, like, just like me ketamine addiction, it was a number of fails. I have quit so many times. I feel like this is the time that's going to stop. You just have that feeling. I don't know anybody who's quit addiction, and you kind of have that, you do it for a bit, but when you do it the last time, you kind of know this is the last time. I don't know if that's been other people's experiences, but it has been mine. I am miles out the chat, but it's just knocked us right down, so I'm kind of up to, I've missed a big chunk in the middle, so sorry about that, guys. 1,000 in one day, is this you? 1,000 in one day, what we're talking about. I know it's saying yoga too is, are you talking about 1,000 in one day when we're, if like on coke, smoking and coke? I know it's saying yoga too is very helpful. Kundalini yoga. Yeah, yoga is really good because it helps you access like mindfulness, like the part of you, like if we can strengthen our prefrontal cortex, we are going to be able to handle not only addiction recovery, but mental health and also anything that life throws at us. We're going to be able to handle much better. So yoga is a really good way of doing that. We've also got, so yoga, what else? Yoga, just doing mindfulness. I mean, I really struggle with meditation. That's the other one. Yoga, meditation, mindfulness. But it's something you can practice, so I'm really good at just switching my brain off now. If you focus on the back of your head there, you could switch your brain off there. So that's a good way of just like stopping the thoughts for a second, and then from there you can just calm your breath. So focus there, calm your breath, relax your nervous system. But anything where you're focusing on breath is really good. I know somebody who quit heroin from learning, they quit heroin and learned to beatbox, and that would help them in their recovery, and they've sustained the recovery now, I think for 7 years or 11 years. They've got a shift under the belt through beatboxing. And again, it's because it's controlling your breath. Dancing, you have to think about your breath and dancing, even running. Running's a good one, like 2 in, long out, just anything with that. Hi, Koi, how you doing? Colette is saying, I was smoking since 16, then got pregnant at 27, gave it up and never gone back. I do still use e-cig though. Stress is a huge factor for why I use my e-cig. Is an e-cig like a vape? Yeah, I did the same. I quit smoking. I smoked since I was 12. Quit smoking when I got pregnant, which I think was when I was 32, maybe. And then started vaping. If e-cig is vaping, I've just quit vaping. I don't know about you, Colette, but I found that worse because I could just vape all day, every day. Whereas, like, at least with smoking, I had, like, ration my amount of cigarettes and go outside. David, Jesus set me free from drugs and alcohol. I tried rehabs for years, they didn't work. Yeah, loads of people. That works for loads of people. Did you do NA or AA groups, David? Mill is saying, I don't know if it's addiction. When I travel, I don't seek anything. It's probably a life. So it's probably an association. So I did successfully stop in a sense. So I used to sniff ketamine every day. But when I was studying, I moved into my dad's to do my dissertation. So I moved in with my dad for like a couple of months, and I wouldn't get wrecked when I was at my dad's, except for I would go home at the weekend and do it. So when I was with my dad, I didn't feel like I needed to do it. I went on holiday, I didn't feel like I needed to do it. And I think it's like an association and addiction. So because it's a psychological addiction. So there's different types of addiction. You can have physical addiction, like chemical addictions. and psychological addictions. And I found this switching up my environment and having something to like immensely focus on was a circuit break. But like, I mean, I was like hyper focusing on uni work, like because of my ADHD and autism. I can't stop playing online casino. I have $0 right now and I have bills I did not pay on the first because I gambled it all up. Yeah, gambling's such a fucking is a really, really tough one. Tother, is it a certain time, like what's the trigger for gambling? Like what do you associate gambling with? So is it when you have a drink that you gamble? Is it when you're bored that you gamble? Does it start off where you're doom scrolling and then you end into it? Like what's the association with gambling? And I would try and like do something like, well, let us know first. Or if you want a one-to-one, we can have a one-to-one. Stephen Morton, I'm making chain mail shirt armor with copper wire to keep me busy and away from meth. I fucking love that. That is so cool. Do you have ADHD or you just like, this is like, but where was the inspiration for this? I love it though. I'm all for it. Yeah, just something, do something. Like I've really, really been leaning into me jiu-jitsu, like since I've bought myself a dummy, like it's this like jiu-jitsu thing that you fill up with, like I've filled it up with old clothes and I've just like been drilling and doing like shadow drilling like constantly. It's really been helping with quit vaping. Unchained Melody, Ashley, I'm in North America and I'm addicted to staying up to 6 a.m. to watch your live streams. Please don't do that. Watch it on the replay. No, we need sleep, guys. We need sleep. This is not good for you. Cora, but thank you for the thank you for the compliment. Cora, start doing endurance exercises like calisthenics. Yeah, martial arts. I only learned what that was for the first time. If you have not even heard of it, I need to look into it. But martial arts, etc., make your body super, super tired. It really helps in avoiding addiction. That's my view. No, I agree. I did double training yesterday, and I've been drilling. I am like aching. The thing is as well, it's if you get physically tired, like when we're in addiction recovery, our brains are just going wild often. Not for everyone. Like I only know addiction recovery with a neurodivergent brain. So like, could anyone let us know what it's like for them? But for me, my brain was just going like crazy. So get myself physically tired was helpful. And also just like learning. So the thing with like martial arts and stuff is no matter what level you're at, especially at beginner level, but if you're not, even if you're older, like get older, like further in your journey, you're always learning something. So the thing with doing something physical and learning at the same time is like makes you produce the perfect conditions for neuroplasticity. And the thing is like your brain is firing and wiring, so if you can start to do something that is like creating the perfect conditions for neuroplasticity, when you are retraining your brain against like for relapses and learning to love yourself, because that's a huge part, regulating your nervous system through cravings, it's going to land much better in the brain. So there's huge neuroscientific benefits of doing what Cora said. So he's said martial arts. There's also calisthenics. I can't say it. That thing he said. But just anything. It can be anything where it's a physical activity that you're learning at the same time. Brilliant. There was a study which even looked at learning something whilst on the treadmill. So like literally learning something whilst on the treadmill. You could literally listen to like a podcast where you're learning something whilst running. Like this can be in any way that you combine those two things. It's great for creating the perfect conditions for neuroplasticity. Dino, if it involves immediate gratification followed by regret, it has to go. Viewing your life through a spiritual lens will let you transcend your mental and physical programming and you'll be free. Yeah. And sometimes the regret has to go. Like sometimes the regret has to go. So my friend came to us and she had an addiction, a weed addiction, and it was a really bad one. Like weed's really been, like, I know some people sit here and say weed is my saviour and it's not that bad. For some people that is true. For other people it's destroyed lives. And my friend was coming to us and they were saying to us, I'm smoking weed all the time and I feel really ashamed about telling you and etc. And I was like, look, but I'm not ready to stop. And I was just like, the worst thing you can do to yourself right now is shame yourself for smoking weed. Like, piling on shame is like this really awful emotion that is gonna just eat you alive, and it's gonna make you want to use more. So the best thing you can do now is say, okay, get rid of the shame, look into why are you doing it, and work on that and keep doing it. Just keep doing it shame-free. So she continued, because she said she was going to do it anyway. So if you're going to do it shame-free, but look at why. And we had an open and honest conversation about why. And it was because of X, Y, and Z. And we're like, great, it's serving a purpose. Let's try and work on X, Y, and Z. And do you know what it is? A few months later, my friend, she'd been working on herself solidly, just said, I'm going to stop. She came to me, she was like, I'm going to stop. Like, I want your support. I'm going to stop. And she is smashing it, guys. Like, absolutely killing it. Every day she just like was killing it, leaning into the group, but she's done it. And it was dropping the shame. So sometimes it's about getting rid of the regret. And by regret, I mean shame. That can be enough for now. If we're not ready to stop, drop the shame, look at the why, and start working on the why. Purchasing, she's definitely smoking before bed. Oh my fucking god, I am not smoking. I honestly, I've got to say, I'm on day 18 now of not vaping, and it's still like the cravings. I'm not getting like the overwhelming like anxiety of it, but like they're just relentless. They are fucking relentless. And I'm noticing a pattern though when my cravings come. So that's something when we're in addiction recovery, look at the pattern of what's triggering the craving. So I've noticed that there's two very specific things which I'm having a thought about, and instantly I'm wanting to reach for the vape. So that's really helpful because that's data. I'm like, right, that's because this is an issue in my life right now. Need to sort this issue out. So I'm using it as data the same way, because I sometimes have cravings from my old drug addiction, and I've hit 4 years clean like a week ago or so. And I sometimes every now and again get a like, oh, I want to do that. And it's a data of why, and I've noticed the same thing even in early recovery. So yeah, use it as data. If we're getting a craving. And the great thing about using it as data, if you're like, okay, what's just happened to trigger that craving, that means you're instantly switching up from limbic system, emotion, and impulsive activity in the brain to rational thinking, impulse control, part of your brain, anterior prefrontal cortex. So just asking yourself, okay, why am I having the craving? You're instantly gearing your brain up to into a better way to stop the craving. Our brains are similar to rats. Yeah, we are animals. I think we forget sometimes. I think sometimes we forget we are animals. We're just different. I'm thinking of that song, me, you and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. But we're like different, because it talks about we're slightly different, but we need to bring it back to the animals. And I think that's really helpful in just in life in general. David, that's the beauty of Jesus, took away craving and anxiety instantaneous when I quit meth, heroin and pills and alcohol. I love that. And look, I do want to say I am very spiritual, David. So it was really helpful in my recovery, but this isn't a faith-based channel, and I want this to be different, because there's a lot of faith-based places for recovery. So to switch that up into scientific, looking at it from like a way that makes sense as humans. So what David's saying is Jesus took away craving and anxiety. So what I learned to do Reiki, which is a spiritual practice, But this helped. So I did manage to quit vaping, and then I ended up getting sectioned in the prescribed as a vape. Don't ask why that's even a thing, because like it's ridiculous. But that's like the health system, mental health system in the UK. But I had quit vape and I was doing Reiki, and I noticed this helped. And actually, when I looked at it from a scientific standpoint, what was happening was I was just sat there like surrendering. Like, it's this idea of like, I'm going to put a sense of calm over myself. So just what we can do, like if we're not religious, if we say like this is in God's hands, essentially we're relaxing the nervous system, because we're saying, okay, I don't need to be stressed right now because this is out of my control. This is already sorted. It's an instant relax. And the same with Reiki, even though it's a spiritual practice, like it's just an instant calm. So one thing that we can do in addiction recovery is remember that we are going into fight or flight every time we have intense cravings. So me, I'm in the stage of craving now where it's like a thought, not intense. But in the beginning, it's like, I need that now. Fight or flight. We're going to fight for this thing. So if we just calm our bodies down from head to toe, just let a wave of calm come over us, breathe. So instead of having shallow breaths, we do the inverse. We'll have long out breaths, like breathe in and out long, and just relax. Just slow our thoughts and just say, right, this is fine. We're going to do this. We're going to get through this. It's only going to be a little minute of discomfort, and we're going to get out of it. And then we're going to have got that under our belts, and we're going to have fucking won that little fight. One step closer to recovered. Just calm yourself down, talk yourself, like coach yourself through it. And that is the same as what David's doing as well, but only I'm not discrediting Jesus. David, I am spiritual, but I'm just talking about for people who aren't. Carl, I'm just gonna look at your nails while you're preaching to the world. My nails, are you for real? These, I have to cut them down for I have got really nice long nails. I love my nails, but I have to cut them down for jiu-jitsu, and I did double jiu-jitsu yesterday, so I've got no nails left. My friends calling me fighting hands. It quite bugs us, but we've got to sacrifice for things we love. Can't have it all. So I'm glad you like me fighting hands. I wish I did as much, but I miss me little girly nails. I is saying how to have discipline. Yeah, so discipline's a discipline is one of those where I think we need to have more discipline to stop addiction. I think discipline is a thing in hindsight. So instead of thinking I need to have more discipline now, think of it like I'm going to aim to get to a point where I look back and think, wow, I've cultivated discipline in myself. Because the thing is, there's usually a reason why we're not disciplined in something. So for me, I've always struggled with discipline. I've always struggled where I always felt like I never followed anything through, that I always like procrastinated. I'd go all or nothing. And then I found out I had ADHD, and I was like, oh, that's why. But my dad said something really interesting. When I got sectioned, he was talking to my psychiatrist about like my grandiose thoughts, because I've got bipolar and had psychosis. And my dad said to my psychiatrist, I didn't think that her grandiose thoughts were that grandiose, because when Ashley decides she's going to do something, it's really big and she actually follows through with it. So I was just like, actually, I thought I could never have discipline, but my dad's noticed that I'm really disciplined in certain areas. So what that allowed me to think is that yes, I can be disciplined, but in the right conditions. So I think with addiction recovery, it's about, okay, I want to be disciplined in this, but right now there isn't the right conditions for me to go hell to leather for this, and for me to continue to commit to something. Because it's hard to continuously commit, like heart and soul commit to something that we're not fully feeling. So what that looks like in addiction, to get discipline, so it's a destination, is creating the right internal conditions. Like, have I got the right nervous system to be able to tackle something is like, because we're going to be hit by craving after craving after craving with depleted dopamine. That is literally like going into, like, it's going toe to toe with something which is going to beat you up on the daily. Like, it's mentally going to beat you up. So we need to train for that. Think of it like you're going to fight with it. So train for that. Train in your nervous system. Equally, like, how can I make addiction recovery enjoyable? Replace it with something that's enjoyable, something where you're winning, and also focus on the wins. Like, to be disciplined in something, we need to feel like we're winning at it. If we feel like this isn't for me, I'm shit at it, I don't really like it, it's like tearing my body apart, we're gonna not be very disciplined in it. So create the perfect conditions for you to be disciplined and succeed. Yeah. Bolo's saying taper off over 5 years probably. That's the thing, you can taper off. I did that. There's no shame in reducing down, but you need to have an end date and you need to have support in this, and there needs to be, you know, we need to not, it need to make sure it's not a tomorrow that never comes. That's important if you're going to do that. So I would do that with a service or with a group. Like, you could go to SMART meetings and keep committing to that and tell loved ones this is what you're doing. Do it with healthcare professionals. Mad is saying, I guess this is full on addiction talk. Yeah, it's called School of Addiction, but I do talk about mental health, just because I think the two sides of the same coin. So if you've given us a question, I get about 1,000 questions, so I do miss a lot of the questions. So if you've got a question, Mad, around mental health, I'll answer that as well. If anyone could give us a subscribe, by the way, I haven't asked them. That's a really free way to help the channel. I'm not that far off getting paid off YouTube, guys, which is really great. And it just means that if I get paid off YouTube, I give free one-to-ones and stuff. So it means everyone gets supported. So that would be helpful. Wavy Davy, any ideas how to get off benzos? 20 years of alrazam, diazepam and lorazepam, at least 10 milligrams a day of one of those. Are these prescribed, Wavy Davy? Or are these things that you're just taking, like, that you're getting from dealers? Yeah, could you answer that, Wavy Davy? Because it's two different things, I would say. Cora, I have this question that is normal, that someone tries to quit addiction, he gets more and more into it, like the more addicted to it on relapsing. Yeah, it's like binging. If you think about it, like, if we stop and then we go back into it, not everyone, but I certainly did. Every relapse I had, I was similar to you, Cora. Like, anybody who's recovered, could you let us know your views on this? Because this isn't evidence-based, this is more subjective experience. But any time that I've done it, it's been like binging. It's almost like you're starving yourself, and then all of a sudden you have the drug and you just go, like, I'm craving, give me more. It's like you've, like, but with anything, like, if I haven't ate, it's like if I cut something out completely, if I cut sugar out completely, and then all of a sudden I have sugar, like, just give me as much as possible. It's like that. And I think it's because you finally gave into something and let yourself loose. So I think that would be quite normal, I would imagine. It's certainly been my experience. Hi, Gypsy Dave, how are you doing? Oh God. So yeah, that was, my brain went blank and then I yawned at the same time. I don't know what that looked like on screen. I think I probably just looked like I would, like, froze or something, just been rebooted. Afternoon tea. I can stop now, but I have to white knuckle as I struggle with confidence to add new things into my life to make it better. Oh, yeah, you do. You do need to white knuckle at things. But look, this is so normal. Afternoon tea, I am a really confident person. Like, I think I'm quite self-assured. I'm quite confident in new spaces and doing new things, but I still get nervous and I still have to white knuckle that beginning thing. Confident, like, being brave isn't not being scared. Like, anybody who's courageous and brave isn't a lack of fear. It's just it's being scared and doing the thing anyways. And the more times you be scared and do the thing anyways, it doesn't take away the amount of fear you get from it, but you start to build up confidence in yourself to say, like, I can do things that I'm scared of. It's going to feel uncomfortable. I'm going to have fear, but that only lasts for a certain amount of time, and then you push through it. And on the other side is something mint. And if nothing else, it's the fact that I did that. So, like, I'm like, do jiu-jitsu, I'm a white belt. In the beginning, it was terrifying. Like, every time I went, I was like getting anxiety walking into that door. Like, I was terrified. I've just done my first one with mixed people, so like I've went in with like mixed gi, like mixed levels yesterday. Terrified again, even though I'm like not scared going into my white belt classes. Like, now I'm going in with mixed gi. I was terrified. So it is normal to feel scared. That's your body doing its job. But just taking a breath, and like, I heard this thing about get your butterflies in a row. So take a breath and say, like, I'm nervous, but I'm going to channel this anxiety. Like, take a breath so it's not overtaken. Channel it into whatever I'm doing. And I'm going to be brave. And I'm going to be so fucking proud of myself at the end of that. And I'm going to learn who I am. And also, whatever it is I'm doing is going to benefit us. Because I wouldn't be scared about doing it if it wasn't meaningful. So yeah, just white knuckling, like, get your butterflies in a row. Like, it's gonna, like, somebody said something to us, every time you go through something shit, paradise is on the other side. And I genuinely do believe that to be true. Like, all the evidence in my life suggests that's true. Kev, good morning. I'm 46. I've spent all my life with addictions, and I only realise now that I've had food addiction from an early age, which pushed me to such unhealthy weight. I've had drug addictions. Yeah, and I wonder, Kev, so that sounds like if we think about what addiction is, addiction's linked in, not fully, but it's linked in with like that dopamine. So we get a sense of relief when we get dopamine. It's like, oh, it's such a nice feeling. And I wonder if there's been something in the childhood which has been driving you towards dopamine. So that could be that childhoods felt chaotic or unsafe. It could be that there's been undiagnosed mental health disorders. There could be a whole host of things. Maybe there was like not fitting in, feeling like you don't fit in within your peer group, something like that. Because that sounds like from a young age, you've been trying to create a sense of like relief that we get from dopamine, that feeling from dopamine's relief. And that might just be because, like, for instance, ADHD, we need, like, our dopamine is dysregulated, or it might be like autism or something like that, where the world feels overstimulated. It could be numerous of things, but we absolutely can have a one-to-one if you want to hash that out, Kev. That's free, so just go to my website, schoolofaddiction.co.uk. Yeah, thanks, Guy. It's saying if anyone wants support, go to my website. Read my mind. I'm struggling with gambling addiction as it's an easy go-to and perk for my day up. I'm struggling to find alternative gambling. Gambling's a fucking kicker. It's really difficult. Yeah, like, look, Kev, why don't we have a one-to-one? Like, why, instead of us just helping you through a screen, why don't we just have an hour and just like really try and like get a game plan together, get you to the right places as well, where you could get a bit more like nitty-gritty support. Oh God, my nose is itching. So anyways, G-Man said School of Addiction. Oh, sorry, I was reading one thing with me dyslexia. I read one name and then read somebody else's comment. So originally somebody saying, I can't believe you killed a deer and mounted on your wall. Shocking. And vegetarian over here as well. G-Man, School of Addiction, my day was bad, then I saw you. Oh, I'm really glad. Sometimes we just need like a little somebody to say like it's okay, like we're in it together, like we're not going through this alone. Zombie, when I get depressed, I put some old music on in my customised Nissan Juke or S Stage 4 with a supercharger, speeds up to 389 bhp. I get depressed, I go out my car and it sorts my head out better. Yeah, just something you love. I've got to admit, I've got rid of my car, but I used to love driving around and ranting. Like such a weird thing to do, but like whatever was going on, like whatever, I would just used to like hash it out as if there was somebody sat next to us. It's called Gestalt. It's like a type of therapy. It's like called the empty chair, but I would imagine that whoever I'm annoyed at is next to us and I would hash it out with them whilst driving. And then I'll just sit, I'll drive to the beach and sit there with music on and just chill the fuck out. So good. But just anything you enjoy. I feel like cars is something you enjoy because that is a lot of detail for somebody who doesn't enjoy cars. So like find out what your little passion is or lean into the passions. Right, so I am going to go because I've got a doctor's appointment. I've got to get my bloods taken. But G-Man is, I'll end on that saying, I'm a 28-year-old virgin. I've given up at this point. Or G-Man, please, would you like a one-to-one? Because like that is shit. That is shit to feel like listen to somebody saying that they've given up. Like that is like, yeah, that's just shit. Like, do you want a one-to-one and we can hash this out? Like, I think, yeah, there's so many different things swarming around my head that we could talk about, G-Man, which like, if you want to have that one-to-one, we can do. Like, there's a few different avenues we can just talk about and get you, because I do not want someone sat there feeling like I'm giving up. That is just it's such a shit feeling to feel that hopeless that you're giving up. So like, can we please, like, I urge you, obviously it's up to you, but it's a phone call, you won't see my face. Like, I won't see your face or anything. Yeah. But if you go to my website, if that's something you want to do. But I'm going to have to go because, like I say, I've got an appointment and I just want to spend like a little bit of time, get myself ready for that. So I will be back on Monday at 10 a.m. and then go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. and then Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. GMT time. If I've missed anyone's comments, because I know I always do, and you want us to answer them, just go to my website, schoolofaddiction.co.uk. G-Man, even if you don't want to have a phone call, we can just like talk about it through my, like, if you go on my website, it's all confidential as well. It just goes straight through to my email. If anyone could give us a subscribe if you haven't, that's a super free way to help the channel. But thanks to everyone who's joined and thanks to my mods. Yeah, have a great day, guy, and I'll speak to you soon.